Hello, everybody. You're on the mic, and on today's episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'd like to call a little bit of a convention battle royal, seemingly going on here in the near future. So, as reported originally by Hero Hei, um, okay, well, first off, let's give a little bit more background. As everybody knows right now, there's not a whole lot of conventions going on, at least not in person. There is a case where some cons are trying to go virtual. Now, in a previous video, I kind of gave my 2 cents on that idea. I just don't necessarily think I, you know, you can go back and watch that video, you know, for for that. But as such, a lot of this, of course, started out, as everybody knows, with everything going on in the world right now, currently with the pandemic, as well as now here in the states in particular with what's going with the civil unrest. Obviously, it's proving not to be totally safe right now to be meeting in large groups. So unfortunately, a lot of the cons have had to cancel or try to postpone their conventions. Some have tried to do more like online conventions, um, to try to substitute that. Well, as initially reported by Hero Hei, starting about a month or so ago. So this is basically a bit more the background of this particular story. So I'd say about a month ago, Funimation came out and said they had decided to have a convention during the 4th of July weekend. I think it was from July 2nd to the 4th, basically. Their convention is going to be an online convention, Funimation Con, FunnyCon. Um, with what happened, basically it was kind of hastily put together a lot, and a lot of people kind of believe in one of the theories that Hero Hay had put out there was that part of the reason they were doing that was to try to recoup whatever losses they would get from not being able to go to Anime Expo. As Anime Expo, of course, was canceled. So fast forward a couple weeks later, Anime Expo decides, okay, Funimation, you want to do an Anime Con online? We're gonna do an Anime Con online. We're not gonna invite you. We're just, we'll invite Viz, we'll invite everybody else, but we won't invite you. Like, so you want to try to do that, and all that, you know. So Anime Expo responded by announcing that they were going to do a convention online. And I think a week after that, we hear Crunchyroll decides, well, they're going to do an online convention. So it's kind of like, okay, because Crunchyroll wasn't invited to the anime. Now, as most of you probably know by now, Crunchyroll and Funimation are now under the Sony umbrella. Okay, which is, so Crunchyroll wasn't really invited to Anime Expo's online con, so they decided they're going to go ahead and do their con. So you got got these three entities, almost like in kind of a Funimation. Anime Expo is not happening, so I guess we gotta like do our own con. We're gonna do an online con. You know. Now again, as I said, I'm not gonna. I've already done a previous video on my take on online cons. So you can go back and watch that video. My ultimate belief, though, in that is just that you need personal human interaction. Okay, this a lot of the destabilization of our society right now is because we're starting to become too dependent on technology, and we're not wanting to interact with each other. I grew up in a generation where even you could disagree with each other and still remain friends because you know you just chose to agree to disagree. But now it's like, if you don't agree with me, you're my enemy. That's the mentality. That's the mentality that's driving these riots right now. It's no, not really gonna. I wasn't really gonna try to get into this, but you know, that's what's really fueling the riots right now. Not a racial issue. It should be about police brutality, yes. What those cops did to George Floyd was wrong. But it's not a racial issue, it's a human issue. We have dehumanized each other. We talk about all this, systemic racism, you know, and it's dehumanization. You know, on one side of the coin, you're going to say, well, you know, okay, nobody deserves to be hurt or abused. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, whatever. Nobody has a right to be abused. Nobody has a right to do what those cops did to George Floyd. Okay, but the core issue there, it's not a racial issue, it's a human issue. It's the fact that we've dehumanized each other to the point to where we can't even agree to disagree. It's like, if you don't agree with me, then you're the enemy. And it becomes so much easier, to take that mindset when you go run onto Twitter. You know, you can't have the face to face contact with people. You can't have the eye to eye contact with people. You can't sit there and now people would argue, well, you can see their faces on the screen. That's not enough to fully understand what a person is thinking and feeling. You need to be near them physically. If you really think that just looking at somebody through a computer screen is enough social interaction, I'm sorry, but you are an idiot. Okay? I know Tug has also talked about this a lot when talked about, saying he doesn't always consider everybody he knows online as friends. And I get the point there. Because interacting through a computer screen, that's just a facade. Very few people, I doubt there are probably very few people. I probably could count them on one hand that you could really tell the person you usually see on the computer screen is the same person you'd see in real life. Okay? So that's part of the reason why I don't like the idea of just virtual conventions. Because you need to be around people. You know, we're weighing the balances between the idea of physical health and mental health. Without that interpersonal interaction, that's why you're seeing a lot of mental health situations deteriorate too. That's why you're seeing more domestic violence situations. That's why you pretty much are seeing these riots. And these virtual conventions are not, yeah, maybe for the company, for the conventions themselves to recoup some of their losses, that might help them financially. That may be true. But aside from that, people need to interact with each other. They need to be in each other's physical presence. Okay, and now you got kind of this battle royal where, okay, Funimation, since Anime Expo wasn't happening, they're gonna try to recoup their losses by having a con. Anime Expo is gonna fire back and say, well, we're gonna recoup our losses, and we're not gonna let Funimation get away with it. So, we're gonna recoup our loss. We're gonna do that, and then Crunchyroll gets into the mix. One of the theories that Hero Hei had put out there is that what will probably happen is Crunchyroll and Funimation will combine into one online con to do together, since they're kind of under the same umbrella at Sony, trying to further their influence and power within the anime community. You know, so but that's kind of the long and the short of it on that. It's just kind of an interesting scenario. And granted, I got a little off topic there, but I felt like there was stuff that needed to be said there in regards to this whole thing. Bottom line, to maintain good social and mental health, people need to be able to interact with each other. Okay, people need to be around each other. Staring at a screen across somebody isn't enough. Okay, that's the bottom line. That's what is called being human. Okay, so with that, so now that we got the serious talk out of the way, let's look at some fun stuff. Let's kind of move on to some fun stuff. Today being June the 3rd, 2020, let's look back and see what has happened on this day in Nietzsche history. Again, only a couple of things I was able to find for today, but a couple of interesting ones. So first off, we go all the way back to 1978, which would be 42 years ago. On this date in 1978, the anime adaptation of Haikara-san ga Toru, also known as Smart San and Mademoiselle Anne, more literally translated into English as "Here comes Miss Modern, here comes Miss High Collar," Haikara being the Japanese version of high collar, or fashionable girl passing by. Haikara San ga Toru was a Japanese shoujo manga series by Waki Yamato, and it was initially serialized from 1975 to 77. The anime, but on this date in 1978, the anime adaptation made its debut um, on, as it was produced by Nippon Animation and made its debut on TV Asahi and other local stations across Japan. So on this date in 1978, the anime adaptation of Haikara-san Gatoru made its debut. And also on this date in 2009, 11 years ago, um, Batman, the debut issue of Batman and Robin, went on to newsstands from DC on this date, 2009. 11 years ago today, in 2009, the debut issue of Batman and Robin went on newsstands, with the first story being Domino Effect. So, with that all being said, um, let's see. If you want to contact me directly, you can check the links below. My Discord link is down there. You can direct message me there. Check out the Discord and join if you'd like. Also promoting a bunch of different dub companies. Funimation is not the only game in town. There's a lot of other great animes out there to be checked out, to be watched. A lot of other great voice actors and actresses, other than those at Funimation, to check out and and look into their works. And since I did talk a little bit about conventions here, let me just reiterate. When we do get back to the point where we can start attending conventions again in person as members of the anime community, never forget that if there's a particular voice actor or actress that you want to see at the convention, what you have to do is, in a very polite and respectful manner, contact your local convention and ask them to invite them. If enough fans ask for a particular guest, they'll get invited. You know, if you want to see, maybe for whatever reason you haven't seen, maybe maybe you like, maybe you'd like to see Blake Shepard and Jay Hickman more from Sentai Filmworks, the father and son duo, Soma and his dad from Food Wars. Maybe you'd like to see them more. So you contact your local and ask them to come. Maybe you want to see Yanis Yad more, who's the voice of Kagura in Inuyasha. Or Kelly Sheridan, as I know one person in Colorado wanted to meet her. The way to do it is to contact your local cons and ask them to invite them. And if you guys want to learn more about voice actors and actresses, don't forget to catch my VA profile premieres on Fridays. And learn more about the work that they do and maybe go watch for yourself. Maybe you'll become a fan. Maybe you'll want to try to get them to your local cons. And moving ahead, of course, I'm still also promoting Vic's GoFundMe, as well as that Umbrella Guy and his daughter, Little Umbrella Girl's latest comic adventure, another case with Littlest Umbrella. As always, guys, never feel like you have to donate. It's on your heart to do so, and you have the means to, please consider donating. If you've already donated, please consider donating again. And if you cannot donate, you still help out the cause by sharing the link. You're sharing is caring. You never know, maybe somebody in your circle of friends may decide that they want to help out as well. You never know, it doesn't hurt to ask. And if you like this content, please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. I always look forward to the conversation with you guys. Of course, it's civil and respectful. We can always agree to disagree on certain things. It doesn't have to degenerate like we've seen it degenerate the last 15, 20 years. And with that, I hope you guys will check this video out. Hope you guys to see you guys at the premiere on Friday. Premiere on Friday. And with that, I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.